Hey everyone, I'm LouTheKiwi, and today we're diving into my spoiler-free review of Pokémon Legends Z-A. So, let's get started with that intro. Wait, I don't actually have an intro yet. So, I guess this is the intro? Now, before we get rolling like a Wooloo in Galarian Fields, this review is based off of my own playthrough, which is currently at rank A. So, although I've experienced quite a lot of what the game has to offer, there might still be a few things left to discover. But I don't suspect that this is going to change too much of my opinion. And yes, unlike some reviewers out there who only seem to care about JPEG windows.
Hello, is Mr. JPEG home?
No, Mr. PNG lives here.
Oh, sorry, wrong house.
I've actually played the game. Crazy concept, I know. We're going to be talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly. But because I like to finish on a positive note, and I know that some of you just came here to listen to the complaints and leave anyway, we're going to start off with the ugly and finish off at the good. Now yes, the game is a little flat, I'll admit it, but I'm not talking about JPEG windows. For me, it was this particular moment when a bush moved in the wind and it was just too obvious that it was a 2D cutout pretending to be a real plant. It was like watching a Ditto try to transform in a tree and just giving up halfway. But honestly, if I wasn't streaming, I would have never noticed this. This particular moment happens during the starter selection, where usually I'd choose my starter and just move on with my life. But this time we actually sat here talking to chat for quite a while, and so I started noticing details which usually would go unnoticed. The lack of voice acting here really does make it feel like something's missing from this game. I know that Pokemon incentivizes reading by not having voice acting, but we're past that stage now. I really feel like voice acting really should just be included. What really bugs me though is how hand-holdy this game feels. It really just feels like the tutorial never finishes. It almost feels like Brock trying to cling on to Nurse Joy's hand just forever. I get it, we need to learn the ropes. But honestly, let me figure out the ropes myself. Let me untie those knots. And finally, the DLC announcement before the game even released. Come on, Game Freak. It really felt like I was ordering my Appleton before I even finished eating my Tatsugiri first. Let me enjoy the game before I even have to be reminded that I'm actually gonna have to open my wallet up once again. Alright, let's move on to bad. These are things that aren't great, but they're also not going to necessarily destroy your gaming experience. First off, dodging. There's no native dodging mechanic for Pokemon within Pokemon battles. Now, I know the ability to dodge every single move in every single battle every single time would simply make a playthrough way too easy. I get that, and it's also not what I'm asking for. But surely there's some form of dodging mechanism that they could have implemented that would have made us feel a little bit more like Ash Ketchum. Like how we can swap Pokemon mid-battle. Following that, we can't attack for a couple of seconds. And I know some of you are going to say that is the dodging mechanic within the game. But couldn't they have given us a native dodging system where we just also can't attack for a few seconds? It seems like such a small change, but it would have gone such a long way. Visually, I also think I was expecting a little bit more of a glow up. Similar to how Legends Arceus had a very, very different art style to what Sword and Shield was. But Z-A, it really just feels like we're in the same neighborhood with no bugs and just a new coat of paint. It doesn't necessarily feel bad, it just feels a little bit too familiar if you know what I'm saying. It's not really an issue, it doesn't stop the game from being enjoyable. It just makes you feel like, huh, they could have done this a little bit better. Now let's talk about my favorite part, the good. And trust me, I'm really excited here because there's a lot of good to talk about. First off, the battle mechanic. The real-time battle is actually huge. The departure from the system that fans have been asking for years really makes it feel so much closer to the anime. But don't worry, there actually is a lot of strategizing that still needs to be done. You see, the cooldown times really means that the powerful moves won't necessarily guarantee you a win every single time. And although we can't natively dodge, a perfectly timed switch in really can give you an upper hand in a very difficult situation. Then we have the return of Mega Evolutions. Finally, the Pokemon Company have remembered that we really love Megas. And at the end of the day, we really do love them. Not only are they back, but the new Mega designs, Most of them are really chef's kiss. Some of them genuinely had me saying, okay, this is my new favorite version of this Pokemon. Speaking of visuals as well, shinies. Overworld shinies are back. Not only do they have visual and audio confirmation now, they also have another confirmation, which is when you focus in on the shiny, you can see a little symbol next to it, which really helps those shiny hunters who struggle sometimes when the lighting is just a little bit off, just like we had in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Overall, Pokemon Legends Z-A gets an easy 8 out of 10. It's not a AAA masterpiece designed to flex your PS5 in 4K, but to me, it doesn't need to be. It's for the people who just want to relax, explore, and catch their favorite Pokemon, without having to worry about hitting Uncanny Valley. It's for those of us who love the series for its heart and not its ray tracing. Sure, it's got some rough edges, but beneath that, it's genuinely fun. It's a charming experience that reminds you why you fell in love with Pokemon in the first place. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some more megas to discover, a few more shinies to chase, and probably another bush to accidentally insult on stream. If you've enjoyed this review, hit the like button and consider subbing for more. And hey, maybe you'll join me live on Twitch at LouTheKiwi, where we'll be catching them all, one 2D bush at a time.